Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea and I have been selling on Etsy for almost 8 years, which is absolutely crazy to say. So this channel is where I share everything I've learned in the past about selling on Etsy and being an e-commerce seller and small business and all the things. That is what we talk about on this channel. So if that is what you are interested in, you are in the right place. Today specifically, we are going to wrap up a series we have been doing on this channel all about how to start an embroidery business on Etsy. As you can see behind me, I have an embroidery business on Etsy. It's what I've been doing for over 7 years for like the large majority of my business. I didn't do it for like the first 3 months and then we switched over to embroidery and that is what I do. And so this series has been all about how to start an embroidery business on Etsy. Make sure to check out the previous videos because they all have built on each other. And so start at video 1 if you are interested in starting an embroidery business on Etsy, and it has just walked you through literally every part of the process. This has been a very fun series to make, and so yeah, make sure you start at the very beginning. Today specifically, we are going to be talking about sourcing products for your embroidery business and how to successfully fill a lot of orders. So your product workflow, that is what we're going to dive into today. If you have been with us so far, by this point in the series, you should know what you are going to sell on Etsy, have your brand voice established, your shop set up, and all of your items listed with all of the details that you need to get for embroidery. So you are basically ready to start getting orders. Now, this is the fun part where you actually start getting and filling orders. This is the part where you're actually selling. So this video is going to be broken down into two kind of categories, or I guess like we're going to talk about two things in this video. First, we're going to talk about sourcing, and then we're going to talk about product workflow and actually filling those orders. But let's dive into sourcing first. Let's talk about where to source items from. I know that a lot of people get really caught up here because like I just don't even know where to get stuff from, and like I don't know about the blanks. It is not that complicated, so I want to just dive into a few options that you have and things to consider when you're sourcing items. So first things first, when it comes to sourcing your items, you are going to want to find a wholesaler that will sell you your items at a, like, I guess a wholesale price. You're not going to want to just go to Target and buy something and then embroider it and sell it on Etsy. For a couple reasons that doesn't work too well. One, it's pretty inconsistent, hard to get. Target phases, they cycle through things, and so what you might have this year, you might not have next year. And also just stock, and it's just a little more complicated that way. So you're gonna wanna find like a good set of base items that are in stock and good priced and can get shipped to you easily, all those sorts of things we're gonna talk about. But basically what I'm saying is you're going to want to go through a wholesaler, sweatshirt apparel wholesaler. A few options that you have for that is Jiffy Shirts, Alpha Broder, which is what we use, S&S Activewear, or we've gone through Hanes directly. SewForLess.com is really good for some more accessories and stuff, and Amazon can be good in a pinch. So I'm gonna dive through those, I'm gonna like break those down. Jiffy Shirts is really good if you're gonna do not a lot of volume, but I have found that they are very, very expensive. And so I'm not a huge Jiffy Shirts fan just because I found every time that I've ordered from them in a pinch, like if we get an order and it's out of stock, which is a really big thing in COVID, Jiffy Shirts is pretty pricey. So we use Alpha Broder. I highly recommend Alpha Broder. We like them a lot. You do need an account and a sales tax license in order to sell with them, but we have found that it was absolutely worth getting that. They have really good pricing, really easy shipping, and they're overall, COVID was like an exception just because COVID made stuff so hard to stock. Very good at keeping stuff stocked. S&S Activewear we've also used in a pinch. I've heard really good things about them. Again, I think you need an account in order to sell with them. Hanes directly, we saved our butts in busy season with a few things that we could not get anywhere else but Hanes directly. And really make sure that if you're gonna do that, like Hanes.com, make sure that you're gonna use a promo code because they always have a promo code. SewForLess.com is actually local to us, but you can order from them online, and they have a lot of like really good makeup bags and camera straps. Really good for my niche, which is the monogram niche. Good stuff at So For Less. And then Amazon, we've also definitely used in a pinch. So recommend all of those and have used all of them. I've already mentioned this, but there are a few things to consider when you are sourcing. Make sure that you are paying attention to obviously the price. Like I said, Alphabet is a little cheaper than Jiffy Shirts, which is a big reason why we use them. You want to pay attention to shipping speed and shipping price. So you want to make sure that it's going to get to you pretty quickly, and also it's not going to cost an arm and a leg to get to you. You definitely want to pay attention to stock. What do they have in stock? It is a really big thing right now because of COVID, so definitely paying attention to stock and also what products they have. So your product offering. When choosing the items specifically, those are of course things that you're gonna consider. The last things I just mentioned are gonna be things you're gonna consider when you are choosing a wholesaler. When you are choosing items specifically, make sure that you're considering the obvious things like fit and quality. Like, you don't want it to be bad. You do not want bad reviews. They are critical for running a business on Etsy. Make sure that you are considering the obvious things like fit and quality, but also don't forget to consider what they have readily available. We check to make sure that every item we list will be kind of what we call like easy to get. Easy to get as in they won't be out of stock. We won't have to ask our customers to substitute a color or something like that. We try to make sure that items that we list are easy to get from Alphabet, which is our wholesaler, our preferred wholesaler. Anytime we've used anything but Alphabet, it's been in a pinch because someone ordered something and we couldn't find it. So definitely making sure that it's easy to get. Before we actually move into product workflow, I'd really like to cover some items that we've had good luck with in the past and items that we've had not so good luck with. These are items that every wholesaler will have. And so I just want to do, like, say you're at the part where you've picked your wholesaler, now you need to pick some items. I just want to talk about a few things that we've had good luck with in the past. So Gildan 50/50 sweatshirts have been really, really good for us. It's called most places have the same product code. It's the G180. The G180 sweatshirt is just your basic sweatshirt. When you think of a sweatshirt, that's what it is. They have good color offering, good sizes, usually in stock. I like the G180 a lot. Anything from the brand Harriton, which is an Alphabet specific brand, it's always reasonably priced and very high quality. We really, really like Harriton items. Very, very high quality stuff. Big fan of anything that brand. Comfort Colors brand, in my experience, sells really well, but it is very hard to get. So I almost recommend not listing it. It sells well, but it's very expensive. So if it gets messed up on a machine, it's kind of a bite. And their stock since COVID has been a nightmare. And so I almost don't recommend that. I really, really love the Comfort Wash by Hanes collection. I'm a huge fan of that. We list a ton of Comfort Wash items. We've listed their tank, their t-shirts, and their sweatshirts. We're big fans of the Comfort Wash by Hanes. The fit and quality is better than Comfort Colors in my opinion. It just doesn't have the brand name, and they're in stock more. Bella Canvas, anything Bella Canvas. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've heard of Bella Canvas. They have a lot of name recognition. Obviously, Bella Canvas is an amazing brand. They can be pricey, but they are pretty easy to get as far as like stock is concerned. All of their stuff is really high quality in my experience. Only a few t-shirts I've had a bad experience with, but like all of their sweatshirts are super high quality. They sell well. I'm a big fan of Bella Canvas, so I do recommend them. I recommend Rabbit Skins for kids items. Rabbit Skins is a brand. We've had really good luck with them as far as stock and fit and quality. Rabbit Skins is good, and I recommend BadEdge or Liberty bags for accessories like laptop cases and tote bags and all those sorts of things. We've had really good luck with BadEdge and Liberty bags. So that more or less covers sourcing. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. But now we're going to move into how we efficiently process orders and get every order filled, even during our busy season when we are shipping out almost 70 items a day. Obviously, keeping everything straight requires a system. Like I mentioned in the last video in this series, there are a lot of embroidery specific details that you need to collect in order to fill an order, and making sure, like getting to the point where the item is shipped out just takes a very specific system, which I think we have mastered over the past 7 years. So we are going to dive into that whole system. It takes a very, very specific system in to actually get orders out. So before we actually talk about the system, I need you guys to know that there is basically two categories that we have in our shop. So we have items that we stock and items that we order when we get the order. So basically items that we stock are going to ship sooner, and that is reflected in the shipping times, which I talk about on this channel a lot. You want to make sure that you have accurate shipping times on your Etsy shop. So for the items that we have to order in from the wholesaler, a customer places the order on our Etsy site, and then we order that sweatshirt specifically. We order about once a week during not busy season. How often we order definitely depends on the season. During busy season, we order every day or every other day, and during slow season, we order about once a week. So now that you guys know how the items actually get to our shop, what we are sewing is in our shop now that you know how everything is here, we either have it stocked or we're ordering it from the wholesale after the customer has placed an order with us. Let's talk about actually processing the orders. One thing I want to mention is that this entire process is broken down very in depth and step by step in this video. I will link it in the cards. I have a video where I show you how we do every single order, and it's broken down step by step. But the gist is this. I'm just gonna kind of give you the overall, the general how it works, because I think that you'll be able to take it with you to your embroidery business, and it's very, very helpful. And this is stuff that took us so long to learn, guys. So I just definitely want you guys to just glean into our system and have a little bit better of a system than we did during the early years. I am not kidding you. Our shop was ran on Post-it notes, and it was a nightmare. So I'm just gonna give you guys the overall, and you can definitely check out that other video if you want to get the very in-depth broken down explanation. So first things first is that every single order that we get, we print what is called an order sheet that contains all the details for every order. So if, like I mentioned in the last video in this series, we try to get everything collected before, so we don't have to message anybody like, what's your thread color? If we are sending that message and when they respond, we write in on that piece of paper what thread color they want. We handwrite in the color ivory, and then we make sure that that order sheet has all the details needed to fill the order. We work off of that order sheet until the item is made completely. So basically what we do, if we were gonna have a sewing day, we would come into the shop, get a big stack of orders that can be made that day, which means we have all the details and the item is here in the shop. And so then once we have that stack, that order sheet stays with that item until it is made completely. I want to mention here that we kind of work in batches. So obviously you have an embroidery software to make all of your monograms or all of your personalization, all of your designs. We have the stack of orders, we work through that, we get all the monograms made, we plug USBs into all of the machines. We then sort based on what machine it needs to go on. So you can only see our big machines right now, but we actually have 5 small machines too. And so we sort them into a stack of big machine items, small machine items, and then from there we sort them into threads, so we're not constantly rethreading machines. So we have like one machine running red, and then we change it. So we sort them into thread color. And then, so that is how we batch our items. I just wanted to say that because I know that that's like a very embroidery specific. Maybe that'd be a good tip for you. Once we have everything made, so that order sheet stays with that item until it is made, and then we get a pile of order sheets and a pile of items, and we then go ahead and print all the labels. So from there we have a stack of orders, a stack of labels, a stack of items, and then we double check all the details for each order, pack it up, and ship it out. It is a very, very efficient system. Like I said, if you want the nitty gritty, I really do unpack all of that in the other videos, just make sure to check it out. But the embroidery specific things you need to know is that we work in batches to make the designs, we sort by thread color and machine, and the item stays with the product sheet. And then once the product sheet is done, we throw it away. So I hope that made sense. This is a very, very efficient system. Take it from my experience of having a very non-efficient system. This system works really, really well, and we have packed and shipped up to 70 orders a day using this system with just 2 people and 8 machines, which I know 8 machines is a lot, but they really do have to run all day. Of course, anyways, you guys know that like it depends on the designs and all that kind of stuff, but definitely very, very efficient system for getting a lot of stuff out and keeping all of those details straight. So I really, really hope that that's helpful as you start your embroidery business on Etsy. This series has been so fun to make and record just because, I don't know, it's like so cool to give that specific of information for Etsy sellers. I've never done embroidery specific. And so doing this series on how to start an embroidery business on Etsy has been so fun. If this was your first video, make sure to go back and watch the other 3. If this is something you'd love to see more of, please let me know in the comments. I had so much fun making this series. So if you have more questions about embroidery specific things, I would love to hear them. So anyways, now that you have your embroidery business set up, you get to implement all the Etsy best practices, which is really fun and what we talk about on this channel every week for 2 videos a week. So make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that this series was helpful. And if you're starting your Etsy embroidery business, please leave a link to your shop in the comments. It'd be so fun. It'd be so fun to see them all. Anyways, thanks so much for joining, guys, and I really hope that you choose to subscribe and hang out with me here.